What is up, guys? I just watched Godzilla, Kong, The New Empire, and bro, it was a good time. I liked the movie. I liked the movie a lot. It was a good movie. It was one of the movies I'm looking forward to like the most this year, and it did not disappoint. Mostly, it did not disappoint. There were a few things, but I'll talk about it. First, let me talk about what I really liked about the film. I think the first thing that a lot of people are gonna come out of here with is the also no spoilers, non-spoiler review. Do not worry about spoilers. I think the first thing is that Kong and his story is like the center of it. It is the main focus. This is a Kong movie. Like Godzilla is there, but this is a Kong movie, and I think that the non-verbal storytelling and like the communication in between Kong and other characters is like really well done. And I think it's something that you don't see really in these like films, like these kaiju monsterverse films, is like the character behind the monsters. Like you see a little bit of like their reactions to things, but they don't really have many like actual. They don't have that character. You know what I mean? Like they're just there. They're just there to fight each other basically. And in this one, we see Kong's like struggles. We see how Kong communicates. There's that humor through that communication as well, and through miscommunication as well. There's some funny moments, and it's all really well done. I really liked how it was like just how it happened. It was really good, and I hope that in the future we get to see more stuff like this, like these stories following the Titans, talking with each other, interacting with each other, and it was just cool. It was cool. We also got to see more of Kong's like intelligence and his ability, and it's awesome. And that's I think like the main part of the film that people are gonna like a lot. On top of that, the fights are also really good though. That too, you guys are gonna probably like that as well. They're a little short, like some of the beginning ones, and even towards the end, they're a little like too short for my liking. I wish I had a little bit more length, but they were still like good. I didn't hate them. They were still fun, especially the ones with Godzilla. They were especially short. I wish we got to see more of that, but we also get to see Godzilla being just a beast and the king of the monsters because he is living up to that title in this film, bro. He is living up to the title of king of the monsters, and I mean it's awesome. That's awesome to see. The way they refer to him in the film is as a force of nature, and you can see why they refer to him as a force of nature because nothing is stopping that, bro. Nothing is stopping that. Um, so I think overall, like even though like Godzilla was sidelined a bit, I still liked it. I still enjoyed it, and I think they're setting up some stuff in the future that could happen with Godzilla being the main focus. Because Godzilla's had his time. He's got like three movies, right? Well, two movies, I guess, and then one and then two with Kong. So it's like balanced out. I think this like last one will probably be like if they do another one. If they do another one, obviously there isn't like a direct setup for a new movie, but hopefully it'll be like a Godzilla focused one, and that'll be awesome. And I hope they carry over some of that like Kong storytelling techniques over to Godzilla as well. And it'd just be awesome. It would just be cool to see. The human characters. I want to mention that real quick. The humans, I don't mind them. I never mind them too much in these type of movies. I think sometimes they get in the way, but I feel like recently, a lot of like movies have gotten it a lot better, like handling the human parts of like, for example, like Transformers or Godzilla versus Kong. I think the humans were a lot better in those movies, and this one is along the lines of like that, like this new trend of like in these kaiju, these like I guess for Transformers case, like these robot films where the humans are like kind of like they figured them out, you know? Like obviously in animation for Transformers, they've been fine for a while, but talking about like Prime, but not the point. It's not about Transformers Prime. But I think that the humans were actually handled well. It was a little goofy at times, and like the writing is a little like a little questionable, but never like bad. So they cleared the Madden web bar. A little bit of like like visually the human stuff. Sometimes it's a little off. It doesn't look right, but that's like very tiny, a very small amount. The actual like big fights, the like the Hollow Earth, and even in the surface world, I think it all looks really good. The fights look really good, and like I don't have an exact number, but let's say like 80% of the film, 90% of the film looks really fucking good. And there's like a few scenes that it's like, yeah, that's a green screen. Yeah, that looks a little bit too green screened. And that's a little too goofy. But the movie also has surprises, and they're very welcome surprises, and they were good. Now for the humans, just want to mention like one more thing about them is Dan Stevens. I think he stole the show. Trapper, he was so good. Same thing with Brian Tyree Henry. He plays Bernie. I don't know the last name. They did a really good job with those characters. Those two were my favorite. Whenever they're on screen, I'm having a good time. I love them. I love their like connection, their chemistry. It's good. With Gia, the girl with the telepathy, she's cool. Like the one that could communicate with Kong is what I mean. Like she's awesome. I think she did a good job in the film. Yeah, yeah, and her like storyline with her like mom, it's good. It's good. It's enjoyable. It's fun, and it gets a little messy with like later on in the film, but it's whatever. It's whatever, really. Honestly, like could it have been done better? Probably, yeah. Did I mind it? Nah, not really, because the kaiju stuff is like really fucking good, and the human stuff was passable. It was passable to like pretty good at moments. Enjoyable even. I like seeing the human part of it. Um, which is something I can't say for a lot of other movies, but with this one, it was like that, and that's nice. There is one more thing that I do gotta complain about, and that's I think that the actual pacing and editing of the fights is a little off, and even maybe like how some of the like things happen way too quickly. You know, like we get like a shot of, let's just say Godzilla here. This is like completely like not relevant to an actual scene in the film. I'm just giving an example. But like Godzilla's over here. And like you don't really give it time to like sink in, I guess. Or like the atmosphere or like the area. Then all of a sudden he's over here, you know? Like he's in a different area altogether. And I'm not saying that they needed to have like, you know, him like crossing the ocean each time. But there were moments in like fights even where it just kind of cuts a bit too much. It's like there should have been like a little bit of a scene in between, like maybe a few moments in between these two things happening. And that's like what this film kind of has. Like they cut stuff out. Like they had clip over here, and they cut it out. And I think the fights kind of suffer a little bit, a tiny bit from that, of just missing a bit more. And it's not to the point of it being bad, but it's noticeable. That it's like there should have been something here. There 100% should have been something inserted in this moment. But you know, it's whatever. It's whatever. I don't mind overall. I enjoyed it a lot. Visually, this movie was amazing. The villain, I haven't mentioned him yet. Skarking is incredible. Once again, like how I talked about how Kong has so much character, so does the Skarking. And that's amazing to see. It's fun. It's that non-verbal storytelling when they interact with each other is really good. And like Kong with the mini Kong, like like it's just awesome. It's cool. And they did a good job with it. They did a really good job. And I hope going forward we get more of that. It would be a welcomed inclusion. I think that's all I gotta discuss about it, really. I guess I'm ready to give you guys my review, my score of it. Hi, this is Future Me. I forgot to say one very important thing. This movie is hilarious, bro. It is funny as hell. Like I talked about the non-verbal storytelling, and there is a lot of humor in that. There's also a lot of like actual physical. I mean, obviously they're like, you know, the monsters can't fight, but the monsters, or I mean, Jesus Christ, the monsters can't talk. They can fight. They 100% can fight. But they can't talk, right? So a lot of the humor is more physical humor. It's more like their reactions on their face and stuff like that, and like their gestures, and maybe certain things that they do, and it's hilarious. It's a funny ass movie, and I forgot to include that when I first recorded it. But bro, this movie was hilarious. The audience was laughing. I was laughing. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's incredible what they've done with the humor, and I hope they also carry that over for the next one, and they make it as goofy and funny. But yeah, really good film. Really good fights. A little bit of a suffering in like the writing and some editing and pacing stuff with the fights and overall just the film. Because like for example, you don't really get a lot of time to like let it sink in what's happening in between like stuff. It just goes like, oh, this happened, then we're going to this, then we're going to this, which then we're going to this, which isn't as bad, but it's at least like I wish we had like a few more like seconds, like just a minute maybe, you know, in some areas just to like give it some time. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this movie out of 10, it's just a solid like 7. Yeah, you know, it's just a 7. Nah, an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8. Fuck it, I'm gonna give it an 8. Just an 8. An 8 out of 10. I really liked it. Really enjoyed it. I think if you've been watching the Godzilla films and the Kong films, you're gonna like this one. I think they do a good job with Kong. If you are a Godzilla fan, just kind of like, and you want to see a lot of Godzilla, I'd say just like manage yourself a bit beforehand, maybe to be like, okay, this is a Kong film with Godzilla in it, but they do not do an injustice to Godzilla in my mind. Godzilla is still the king of the monsters, bro. Do not get it twisted. Like, and it's fucking badass shit. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know how you guys felt about the movie. Are you excited to see it if you haven't? Like and subscribe. This is a new channel, so I really would appreciate that. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.